Good morning. Welcome to Enlightened Heart Soul Connection. This morning I bring to you some truth brought from biblical teachings. In the beginning, God planted a garden, not just in the east of the earth, but in the center of the soul. Eden was never just geography. Eden is inner sanctuary, the pineal eye, the secret place where heaven and earth meet. But humanity forgot. We walked out of Eden, not because God cast us away, but because we fell asleep to what was already within us. The psalmist looked at the stars and cried, "What is man that you are mindful of him?" But in another breath, the Spirit thundered, "I have said you are gods, children of the Most High, but you will die like men and fall like princes." And here's the key. Psalm 8 leans back toward Deuteronomy chapter 1:17, 1:1-7. Show no partiality in judgment. Hear both small and great alike. Do not fear man, for judgment belongs to God. 1:17, the code for justice. Proverbs sings another 1:17. Surely in vain is the net spread in the sight of any bird. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 17. That's discernment. The ability to see the trap laid before you and walk around it. To know the difference between illusion and safety. Between the shadow's bait and spirit's bread. Discernment is Eden's sight. Discernment is the eye of heaven opening in the midst of earth. Without it, the psalmist says, "They know not, neither do they understand. They walk on in darkness, and all the foundations of the earth are out of course." That's Psalm 82, verse 5. But with it, the trap is exposed, the path is made plain, and the garden is restored. And the Spirit gave us a word through the oracle. Split your focus. I saw the card. I saw heaven and earth divided. I saw Saturn on one side, the weight, the discipline, the trials of the world. And I saw the moon on the other, the mystery, the dream, the inner vision. I saw the man staring into the earthly, and I saw the woman gazing into the heavenly. Each locked into one half, each forgetting the whole. And Jesus taught us to pray, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." Not heaven without earth, not earth without heaven, but heaven and earth united, both together in discernment, woven together in the heart. Do you hear it? If you only focus on the world outside, you lose your soul. If you only focus on the world inside, you lose your grounding. But when the two come together, when heaven kisses the earth, then Eden blooms again inside of you. And then the Master gave us a prayer. Not a creed, not a law, but a rhythm of awakening. Words that call Eden back into our breath. He said, when you pray, pray like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That is the healing of the split. That is discernment alive inside of you. The heaven within breaking into the heaven without. Give us this day our daily bread, the manna for the wilderness, and the bread of spirit that feeds the soul. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. That's the justice restored. That's the 117, the 117. Discernment lived out. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Deliver us from the net, from the trap laid in plain sight, from walking in darkness when the light is already within us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And I tell you today, that kingdom is within you. The power is awakening in you. That glory is shining through you. So arise, O God. Arise, O flame within. Judge the earth. Set things in order. For you shall inherit the nations. Yes, Eden is not behind us. Eden is within us. And revelation is not the end. It is now. The unveiling of who you are, children of the Most High. God's awakening to God. Amen. Now, after all of that, I want to show you how Spirit confirms this through the cards. The first card that came out was the Ace of Pentacles. This is the seed, the gift, the chance for new life in the material. It's the reminder that God places something in our hands, a beginning, an opportunity, a door into growth. But remember, what we do with the seed matters. A seed can grow into a Garden of Eden, or it can be left to wither. The second card that came out was the Devil, and this was the warning. The devil's not always about a red figure with horns. It's about the chains we place on ourselves. It's the trap of fear, addiction, illusion, and bondage. It's what happens when we take that ace, that seed of blessing, and we plant it in the soil that's been poisoned by control or greed. The devil asks, will you live free or will you live bound? Will you see the trap or will you walk into it? At the bottom of the deck was the Hanged Man. This is the key. The Hanged Man teaches us to stop, to surrender, to look at life upside down. It's the pause that gives us discernment. It's that moment where we stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what is God showing me from this new perspective? The Hanged Man is what allows us to see the devil's chains clearly and to choose differently. So together the message is this. God's offering us a seed. The enemy will try to chain it, to twist it, to trap it. But discernment, pausing, looking from a new angle, sets us free to plant in good soil. This is the continuation of the word we just studied. Eden restored, discernment awakened, heaven and earth united. Isaiah 29 verse 16 says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. Isaiah is calling out the arrogance of humanity when we forget the Creator, when the clay tries to exalt itself above the potter, but mystically it also speaks to the paradox of perception. God turns things upside down to reveal what's true. What looks foolish or inverted to the world is actually the way of wisdom. So when you hold the Hanged Man after the Ace of Pentacles and the Devil, it's almost as if Isaiah is whispering through, the turning of things upside down is how the illusion breaks. You thought the devil was power, but upside down you see the chains for what they are. You thought the seed was yours alone, but upside down you remember it belongs to the potter. And isn't it it's the reminder that we are the clay in the potter's hands, and when we surrender, when we stop struggling, that's when we see clearly. That's when discernment comes. And surely I'm remembering, if we go back to Psalms chapter 82, you are all gods. You are all children of the Most High. Even John chapter 10, Jesus says, do not your own scriptures tell you that you are all gods? We are God. We are the physical embodiment of Source. And our mission in this reality is to wake Source up within each of us. To walk in this world understanding that our mission is purely just to exist. There's no need for existential crises, because nothing's a crisis, it's all an adventure. Next card that comes out is the Three of Pentacles, and I'm thinking about quantum entanglement. This is actually a perfect continuation. So in physics, entanglement means two particles, once connected, remain linked no matter how far apart they are. Their states mirror one another instantly. Spiritually, the Three of Pentacles says we are never separate. Humanity is entangled with God. Heaven is entangled with earth. You are entangled with one another, co-creating reality through every thought, word, and action. So if the Ace of Pentacles was the seed and the Devil was the trap, the Hangman was the pause for discernment, the Three of Pentacles is the reconnection. The realization that what you do ripples into the whole. That awakening isn't just personal, it's entangled. It also answers the heaven-earth split from the oracle card, Split Your Focus. Heaven and earth are entangled already. We only need to live with eyes open to the connection. Traditionally, the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork, but here I'm seeing something deeper. Just as science tells us that two particles remain connected no matter how far apart they are, so are we. We're entangled with one another, with creation, with Source itself. When I wake up to God within me, it ripples out and awakens you. When you heal, I heal. When you create, I create. This card is showing us we're not separate sparks floating alone. We're one flame burning through many bodies. At the bottom of the deck is the King of Swords and the Ten of Cups. The judge, the discerner, the one who cuts through illusion with precision. It resonates directly with 117. He sits at the foundation of the reading to say co-creation is only possible when it's guided by clarity, justice, and truth. Without that, collaboration becomes confusion. Entanglement becomes entrapment. The Ten of Cups, this is the vision of Eden restored. The rainbow over the family, harmony between heaven and earth, Source fully awakened in daily life. It's the answer to Psalm 82's cry and Revelation's promise, the joy of knowing that the kingdom has come, here and now in embodied life. Together they speak. We are entangled. We build together. Discern wisely how you build. Use clarity, truth, and justice as your tools. If you do, what you build is joy, fulfillment, and union. The kingdom revealed on earth as in heaven. Our final message for today comes from the Two of Wands and the Seven of Swords. The Two of Wands traditionally is about vision, choice, the fork in the road, standing with the world in your hand and deciding which path to take. But the image that I'm seeing There's an eye in each wand, and it deepens the message. It's about perception. There's two ways of seeing, two perspectives, two possible futures. The work of discernment is choosing which vision you follow. Here it connects beautifully with Gideon. God told him to cut his army down to a remnant, to choose carefully. The right path didn't look powerful, but it was spirit-led. That's the Two of Wands challenge. Which path is ego and which is God? The Seven of Swords traditionally is strategy, stealth, sometimes deception, but I'm seeing Kokopelli in this card, and Kokopelli is the trickster, the flute player, the bringer of life through laughter, cunning, and sacred mischief. He disarms the enemy not by brute force, but with surprise, play, and wisdom hidden in disguise. Kokopelli could be seen as the Heyoka. Gideon's army again reflects this. They didn't win by sheer strength, but by divine strategy. They blew trumpets, broke jars, and let confusion scatter the enemy. That's Seven of Swords energy. Not about dishonor, but about creative strategy born of spirit. Together, these two cards ask us, can you see clearly which path is spirit's, which vision leads to life? And don't fear if the path looks unconventional, playful, or even strange. Spirit strategies are not man's strategies. Sometimes the flute of Kokopelli or the broken jar of Gideon carries more power than the sword. Sometimes spirit will lead you down the path that looks foolish, but that's the one that carries victory. Discernment is not about choosing right from wrong. It's about recognizing spirit's signature even when it looks like mischief, even when it overturns the wisdom of men. So as we close out this morning's message, source of all awake within us, sacred is the life we share. Your kingdom is here, your will is now, on earth as in all that is. Give us what we need in this moment, bread for the body, clarity for the mind, peace for the soul. Forgive us as we forgive, for I am you, you are me, and we are all. Keep us from illusion, deliver us into truth. For the kingdom is within us, the power moves through us, the glory shines as us forever. Amen.